Hello, I'm PJ Bishop, and welcome to Out of the Park Baseball. This is a video I'm going to do on my perfect team. This is my second season doing perfect team. Obviously, I'm extremely late compared to everybody else because I don't know how many weeks it's been going on, but I see some guys that have players that played since like 2030, so I'm assuming well over 40 seasons have been played. But it's my second season, and as you can see, I've completely dominated my division. I'm 105 and 57. I'm 24 and a half games better than anyone else in my division. And I want to show you that you can create an absolute juggernaut of a team without having to spend any money. I have spent $0 other than buying the game initially, which I like to play. I believe if you do Out of the Park on the phone or the perfect team on the phone, it's free. But I like to do it on my computer because the game is more detailed. And I can also play my career mode on the other side with the Boston Red Sox. And again, it's more detailed on the computer than it is on the phone. But the perfect team is essentially identical whether you do it on here or on the phone. But on the phone, it's free because if you download the app, you can play Perfect Team for free. Where they try to get you is obviously they want you to spend money on packs. If you just log in every day, you get free packs. So you're going to get free players eventually. So just keep logging in and you'll get free packs. That's what I do. I log in, I get free packs. And then don't spend this on packs. Play the entire season, figure out what your weaknesses are, and go and buy individual cards with your money. Figure out how much you want to spend for each card, and then go out there and do it. That's what I did. Because if you go look at my first season, I struggled. In my first year, I was 81 and 81. I didn't have a very good team because, again, I'm just using the default cards that were given to me, but I was trying to field the best team possible. And I came out to a 500 record. But as you can see, it's 2067, which means some guys have been playing, I guess, since, 2023? So you're talking about a huge difference. Yeah, so like I said, over 40 years. So that's 44 years that they've been playing, which means they had 44 weeks of compiling cards, opening up packs, getting other cards. So my team was far behind. But I played the whole entire year. I saved up my money, whatever I had, and I went and I treated that Monday morning before the servers reset and you start a new league. I treated that like free agency. I went out and I bought what I thought was going to help me win. I went out and bought individual cards to try to shore up any weaknesses that I had. And as you can see by my record, it worked. I'm 105 and 57, first place. Runs scored 805, runs against 538, completely just pure dominance. And heading into the playoffs, which is today, I believe I am favored to win the World Series. As you can see, if you go to standings, I don't think anybody was even near me. If you go to, yeah, here I am, 105 and 57. Next closest was 94 and 68, so I was extremely dominant, well ahead of my peers. I'm in line for promotion as well, I believe. I believe I get it. I don't know how it works. I think I get it no matter what because of my regular season standings. I mean, I'm so far better than anybody else. I'm the only one in 60s win percentage. And then you look at my run difference; it's 269, which is insane. Because again, the other guys are all in 184s. I'm oddly enough not very good away. Extra innings 11-3, but it was very good against lefties, 31 and 10. Last 10, 73. So we're heading to the playoffs on a pretty good note here at 7-3. But you can create. If you go to my rosters, it's not like I have perfect guys. I have I went out and I got him. I bought him. I bought him. I bought him. I bought him. Him I had from last year. Uh, so many of these guys I end up buying. I think Logan Gilbert. So basically, Cal, Logan, and Ned I had. Everybody else I had to go out and purchase to help. And these are guys I just got that I haven't even put in my roster that I was getting during the as I was opening up cards. Because you get a pack every day for logging in. So these are all the guys that I earned while I was waiting. Some of these guys will never see playing time, which is fine. So my team can get better for next year. I got another third baseman, but I went out and signed where I was weak, and it worked. Some guys like Corey Seager I had last year. He was two-time All-Star. It's pretty cool. But it's all about creating the proper lineups because what I wanted was him to be one of my top on-base guys. His on-base percentage is .396, which isn't bad. Actually, we can see better if we go to my lineups. And let's go to batting stats. And on base. Yeah, so I expected him to have the best on-base percentage, and he did. And I have him at number one. And now here's a tip that I recommend. There's no injuries in Perfect Team. Players get tired, but there is no injuries. So there's no point in my opinion, there's no point in constantly redoing your lineups or your rotations or your bullpens or whatever. This is the only area where I base everything solely off their ratings. I don't care how they're actually playing. I solely base it off their ratings because the seasons are so quick and they happen so often that I expect over time that their ratings will come into play and they will play according to their rating and be less streaky like they are in your regular playthroughs. So that's one thing I recommend is do not worry about changing the lineup too much. Set your lineup and leave it as is. I haven't touched this once. I haven't touched anything since Monday. Monday I came in, set my lineups, or made my roster, set my lineups, set my pitcher rotation, my bullpen. Haven't touched it since. I will now, as I'm going to redo my pitching for the playoffs. Because one thing in the playoffs is you don't need to have 5 starters. Your bullpen doesn't have to be necessarily. You can kind of lower that just a tad, which is what I plan to do. I'll kind of go into detail what I plan to do with the bullpen, but as you can see, I was pretty spot on with who I expected. Corey Seager was number one in on-base percentage for me, and I had him leading off because that's what I expected. I also expected Bake McBride to have a good on-base, and he did, second best, .354. That's why I had him batting 6. I expect that to be an on-base guy. Now, my best average also goes to Corey, Ozzy. Not bad for Rafael Palmeiro. I expected him to hit pretty well. Where's Hack Miller? Hack Miller is... Yeah, so I'm putting him where I expect. On base plus slugging, Corey. There's my best hitter, Drew Cersei. Went out and... I didn't have a good third baseman, so I went out and grabbed him. What does he do? He gets me an all-star selection, and he hits like I'm look at that. How many 800? I mean, they're not all going to hit perfectly great for you, but you need, as long as you have tons of these. I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that are hitting the 800s or above, which is really good. Because I believe the real-life league average was like 707 OPS, so I have most of my lineup is better than the league average. So I had 2 guys that were less than the league average, and they weren't terrible. They weren't in the 500s. Poor Novell. Last year was a big part of my team. This year he's rookie level 230. Last year he was still pretty bad, but he played and started in most games. This year, doesn't see as much action, and there's a good chance that he might never see my roster again. Because as I keep improving it, as I keep opening up packs and getting more money and buying players, the bad guys will eventually get rolled out, and you'll just keep the top of your rotation. So just imagine this team getting better. Imagine getting better than 105 wins. So that's the lineup. It was very, you know, I expected these guys to be leading in home runs, so they pretty much were. 23. I think Cal had a little bit of a down year compared to his last. Yeah, last year he was really good. 36 homers. So it's weird how the same player can have a slightly worse year, but be the exact same player. See, in 2016, he won the platinum stick for the catcher. But it is kind of weird how the variance of this. I don't know if the game will only allow you to have so many players hitting in the 800s, or how I don't know how that works. Like let's say I had a team of all 100 overall dudes. Does it just purposely make some of them suck? Just so some of my guys on my team suck? Because can you have a team where everybody hits, for 275, on base clip around 350, slugging percentage 450? Like, is that a thing? Is that even possible? Everybody hits 20 home runs, steals 20 bases. Because I feel like the game will nerf you if you try to create a team that's too good. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Because I feel like the players overall should matter no matter what. Even if you have all 100 guys that are 100 or all 100 guys, why does it matter if they all have ridiculous stats? They're well better than anybody else in the league, so it makes sense. Look at that. 3 guys in 30s. Most guys hit double-digit home runs, except for, I didn't expect him to hit too many home runs. He's one of my contact guys, and he's an on-base guy. So hitting double-digit home runs wasn't exactly a top priority, but 277 average, which is not bad at all. My pitching stuff looked pretty nice. Blake Snell. Everybody, this is much different than my Red Sox organization. Bullpen was nice, but look at this. Almost first in every category except for on-base percentage. Second there. Look at that. Nice to have some top-tier pitching. Runs against first. Starters ERA first. Bullpen second. Pitching WAR second. Strikeouts first. Deep. Even though, and I do the same thing here. I do play guys at positions that I think they're like. I try to play the best 9 bats regardless of position, and then try to fit my lineup or try to fit the defense according to my offensive lineup. And even then, it still works pretty darn well. Efficiency was 3rd, errors was tied for 3rd, and the zone rating was 6th. So I didn't lose out too much on my defense, and obviously my offense was just tremendous. But he was awesome. This was a guy I got in a pack, just a regular starter pack thing for just logging in, and he has been just absolutely awesome for me ever since I got him. Look at that. Consistent. Actually better this year than he was last year. Better K rate, better walk rate, same home run rate, better whip. ERA is a little higher, but everything else looks slightly better, so. And he's on a better team. There's my pitching stuff. You can see how I set this up to try to use the guys. Luckily, I did use my premium arms more often. This guy, even though it says use more often, and it did not. Now, I don't know if that's because we weren't, because he's also labeled a specialist. Where is it? James. Let's put all my relievers. Because he's the only one that's like elite where it's lefties and righties. So he might have been held off just to be put on in these kind of special situations when maybe the leverage situation was extremely high. And you can see the guy that said use left often, 34 innings, he was used left, even though he played excellent. I can't complain. But they did use him less often. And then, of course, yes, he's played a lot of innings, but I assume, because it says mop-up, he played a lot of innings when we were up. I had some games where I won like 20-something to nothing, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And he was in some of these games. I got to figure out how to make my playoff lineup, because I got to move a starter over to the bullpen. I'm probably going to remove some of these bullpen arms out to make sure that they're not part of the playoff rotation, because I want to make sure there's only, like I said, since there's no injuries, there's no risk of losing anybody. So you can have the bare minimum. The only thing they're going to do is get tired. And in the playoffs, you don't play back-to-back days. So your guys will always be rested. You'll play one day, rest, play the next. I think there's no right. Oh, I can't even see what it looks like. I wish I could see this schedule. Is there not a playoff schedule? League playoff schedule. Schedule? There it is. Oh, they do play back-to-back. Oh, they play a lot of back-to-back games. Or maybe they don't. Maybe wait. So tomorrow is Hattiesburg Nuggets. Oh, they do play back-to-back. So maybe I'll have to. Not necessarily. Okay. That's interesting to know. I thought they didn't play back-to-back. It turns out they do play back-to-back. And I didn't think so. Okay. Good to know. So maybe I can't do what I was planning. Maybe I should just leave it as is and don't bother it. I'll tweak it a little bit. I think what I would do is I could move these guys 8th or later. Setup man could be 6th or later. Brings them in a little earlier. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Now, I need to make sure once we're into the playoffs, he's tired. He's rested, right? He should be rested. Slightly tired, but he'll be rested by the time of playoffs come around. And it will be always start highest rested. Yes. Only in crucial situations, because this is the playoff time. I should lower this to 4. But since I don't know how the schedule works, I'm afraid to do that. Because if you are playing back-to-back days, I don't want to do a 4-man rotation. I'll have to do the 5-man rotation. And then I have to leave this as is. Although, this guy is going to end up becoming a setup man as well. I'll put him as 6 or later. That way we get them out there when they need to go out there. So that's pretty much it. Just wanted to show you guys that you can have an awesome team without having to spend any more money than you did when you initially bought the game. The key, just save this up throughout the season, and every Monday, if you do, I recommend doing Perfect Team because you can just set it and forget it. Monday is the only day where you have to do a little extra work, or you'll have to create your because I haven't bothered it. Like I haven't added any of these guys since I've had them. I don't need them now. At the end of the year, I'll move everybody here and then redo my lineups and redo my pitching rotation every Monday morning, which is what I do. And that's it. And you don't have to You don't have to spend money. There's no point in spending money. If you're an active player and you create your lineups and you create your pitching rotation and you do it yourself, you're going to do better than the AI. And as you can see, I'm guessing most of these guys probably had the AI help them. Me, no, I did my own thing. And it looks like, oh, playoffs. That's what I wanted to see. That's pretty cool. Oh, this helps me. Now I can see. Let's see. That's pretty cool. Playoff tree. So you got the Wild Card Series, you got Division Series, Championship Series, and the World Series. This is pretty cool. Starts in playoffs start in about 6 hours and 15 minutes. Hopefully by the end of the day, when I log in tomorrow, I log in as the World Series champion. Or at least that's the goal. Playoff coverage. Yeah, maybe they do play back to back to back. I wish I could see like the future games. Like I don't know why they won't let me. Would they not let me see future games? I mean, they're all playing back to back to back. Is that how wild cards normally are? I don't know. I don't want to risk it, so we'll find out. It's a learning experience. Well, that's it for this video. I just want to quickly show you how my team was doing. Kind of a little pat on my back, but again, the season's not over. The real season starts now. That's the playoffs. That's the whole reason we did this, to get into the playoffs and win a World Series in just my second season, which is pretty cool. Like I said, I recommend saving this. Just save your money, and then you can go to market, and you can go card shop. This is where I went. I went here, and I specifically found what I wanted. You can really narrow it down. You can narrow it down. What I did narrowed it down was by, I didn't care about this. I narrowed it down by position and by minimum value. And then I set, if I wanted to get 4 players, that means I can buy roughly for 3,100. So I'll set my maximum budget for 3,100. This way each player can be equally as good. And that's what I did. I'll show you. Let's say I wanted a catcher. And a minimum value, I would like to set it for 100. I would start at maximum. Maximum price was 3,100. All right, high cards I own. I don't want to. So obviously there is none for 3. Okay, so let's lower this to 90 then. None available? Okay, is there anybody available for 85? There is. So all these guys I could purchase right now. All of them. What if I want to sort? I want to sort by power versus right-handers. Well, I would end up getting Mitch Garver, as he's got the highest power, and I could buy him. I could buy him now for $17.50. So in fact, I get a deal. It says, oh, oops, I forgot. If you back up, it sends you completely out of there. But anyway, that's what you would do, and that's what I did last season, and that's how I gained all my star players this year. Basically, I felt like the New York Yankees, actually rather the LA Dodgers. They're kind of the new spending spree team, and just went on a spending spree, spent every single little penny I had here, and now I'm competing. So this offseason, I don't have to do that. The only thing I'm really looking for this offseason is I like to add a proper catcher. As you can see, my backup catcher was Michael Chavez, and he's not a real catcher. Did he improve at catching? Doesn't even show him playing catching, which is weird, because he must have played some games at catcher. Cal Raleigh didn't play every single game. Oddly enough, it doesn't show him playing catcher, even though he did play catcher, because he's my primary backup there, and Cal Raleigh can't play every game. I know he didn't. He did not play every single game. But so I want to get a catcher, and then I'll look and see if he's struggling anywhere in particular. All right, like who didn't hit well? Maybe I'll get a right fielder. I don't know. Just I probably won't end up getting anybody in specific. I'd rather just save that money up and just wait till I'm struggling again and try to get players then that way. Because I don't really need it. I just need a backup catcher, which I probably already have listed in my own roster. So I might just next year, just instead of adding, maybe my last add to the roster will be a catcher. That's the only thing I need was one catcher. Like this year, I won't spend any money. I was good enough without spending any money. I don't think I have to buy any more players. So I'll save that because I would like to buy some guys that are 100 overall. How much do those guys even cost? Just adding, let's say I don't have a maximum price. Minimum was 100. Those guys cost a ton of money, right? Oh, $38,000. That's nothing, right? Yeah, 38. So yeah, they're a lot. But I wonder how much I would get for winning World Series. What's the cheapest one here? 38,000, 28,000 for a 100 overall guy. So the cheapest one is like 28,000. But I'll be able to get a perfect overall 100 guy. And he's not even that good at catching. Oh, there he is. He is good at catching, 70. Interesting. But I imagine this number will go up once I win the World Series. So that's it for this video. It was just more of a brag video. Just showing that you do not spend money on this. Do not spend your real life hard-earned money. Unless you like spending it, that's fine. But I just want to show you that you don't need to spend any more money to win and be the most dominant team. I mean, I'm destroying this, and this is only my second season. Next year in 2025, I plan to play from start to finish, so I'll be much more competitive from day one. Since I imagine I'll be on more equal footing with everyone without having to. They're not going to have 40 plus years of gaining extra. I mean, 40 plus years, it's 40 weeks, and you imagine 40 plus weeks times 7. That's how many extra days of getting cards they had. That's a lot. That's definitely puts me at a disadvantage, but I went out and I think I evened the playing field immediately. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Next video will probably be a Red Sox video.